Hi, I'm Rick Cutter on the floor of Cloud for Utilities here with Shahriar talking about his role at Infor. How are you?
Oh, well, thanks. Thanks for having me, Rick.
So great to see you. Tell us a little bit about how your career's progressed to be the CIO of such a big firm like Infor.
Sure thing. Thanks. So I'm an engineer at heart. I went to university for computer science and math, and I like to solve problems. So from day one, I started doing programming, doing accounting packages for manufacturing companies.
Oh, wow.
And at some point, I made my way into Wall Street and wrote a lot of trading systems, portfolio management system, credit risk systems. And after 25 years on Wall Street, I found Infor. And the story was intriguing, and I decided to join the team and give it a go.
It's great. So I know y'all got a lot going on product-wise. Y'all own a lot of great applications. Tell us a little about sort of the products and the services y'all are providing to the utility industry.
Sure thing. So first, Infor is probably the biggest software company you never heard about. We're 17,000 employees big,
Wow.
3 billion revenues. We have about 90,000 customers.
It's amazing.
And really the differentiation is our industry customization, specialization. We're very good at a few industries, and our software is very aware of those industries. Whether you're a brewer, you're a motorcycle manufacturer like Triumph, or water or other type of a utility. So we have this industry specialization layer where we have our software be pre-customized or have that last mile functionality before you even install it.
Great.
The second thing that differentiates us is we're fully cloud, multi-tenant, and on GovCloud. So we're fully secured, certified to work both with utilities, government, public sector type institutions, and healthcare. A lot of our customers are in the healthcare business. So we're HIPAA compliant and so on. Another differentiation is that we're networked. The interconnectivity with the platforms, connections with other companies, with suppliers. I think we have 50,000 suppliers on our logistics platform called GT Nexus. The other thing we do is we're an analytics company. We do analytics on the cloud. We just bought a company called Burst, and there's a lot of value we're creating for our customers. And the last thing is we're an AI machine learning company.
Oh, wow.
So there's a lot of functionality we're providing with customers, anywhere from natural language processing, where you have a Siri-like service, we call it Coleman, that allows interactions, human voice interactions, all the way to deep learning, machine learning, to analyze data for our customers.
That's quite a portfolio.
Yes, yes it is.
Tell me a little bit about your, I guess your cloud strategy and maybe who some of your platform partners are and how you guys are attacking the cloud market. We're seeing a lot of growth for utilities moving some applications in the cloud. I think it's going to pick up more, but sort of what's your strategy?
Sure thing. So a few years ago, we were dealt a decision to build out a whole bunch of data centers or opt to use that money to provide deeper functionality on our software, move our software to the cloud, and basically subcontract that hosting, the cloud platform. So we looked around, we saw Amazon AWS as a premier platform for many reasons, including security, scalability, and just the maturity of their cloud. So we decided to deploy on Amazon instead of building our own dedicated data centers. So we have a deep relationship with them, and that's paid off because our differentiator is our software functionality, and we allow the cloud companies to take care of the infrastructure.
Okay, great.
And that's been very fruitful both for us and for our customers.
So you've got a pretty deep relationship with Amazon, it sounds like.
That's right. We have a deep relationship with a lot of the providers out there, and Amazon is the key premier one that we deploy most of our customers' platforms on.
Okay, great. As you guys are talking to utilities out in the market, you got a lot of utility customers, I understand. Are you finding customers in the utility space are more willing? Are you seeing a faster march to the cloud? They're more accepting of the cloud now versus, say, 3 or 4 years ago?
We definitely see an uptick. And there's different factors. One of them is security. More and more, of course, utilities, their premier dimension for decision making is security. I feel we've gone over that hump, especially given that on-prem data centers that some of these utilities are managing are starting to have security problems. So outsourcing your security to people who know how to, for example, secure a perimeter, have the latest cybersecurity platforms, have a security operations center is key. So that's one part of it. And the other part is the cloud and the functionality of the cloud being more and more mature, where there's a lot of open architecture, where there's a lot of APIs, where you can take your legacy systems and the new systems and integrate them so that you don't have a big bang. There's a lot of work done on support, on upgrades, on maintenance, where a lot of our systems, for example, have zero downtime, where even if we do an upgrade, the customers don't feel it. So I think comparing now to 3, 4, 5 years ago, I would say the cloud's maturity on how it operates and security have opened up a lot of conversations for us. So a lot of people are calling us and asking us to do demos and see what everybody else is doing.
That's great. I'm getting that same feedback as I talk to utilities in the last year as well. Another question for you. Is there anything new technology-wise that y'all acquired or built that you might want to share with the audience?
Sure. Probably a very common thing for a CIO is your customers coming to you and saying, well, I put all my data into the system, but they need access to it. And so we want this self-service access to data, and we don't want to call IT every time we need something.
Right.
And just over a year ago, we bought a company called Burst. And Burst is an in-cloud analytics platform. And we've spent the past year integrating Burst into all of our products. And it creates for a really nice self-service platform where different types of users, where they're just pure end users or power data scientist end users, can access the data, slice and dice it, create dashboards, and create insights out of all this data that's being generated. So that's been a really interesting space that's taking up a lot of interest. So internally also we're implementing Burst for ourselves. I think we have about 45 dashboards up and running already. Oh, wow. And a lot of those phone calls about, can you do an extract for me and put it in an Excel spreadsheet is going away, where we create a domain, we fire it up, and within a couple of weeks, our internal clients are up and running, accessing their own data. So Burst is a really interesting story for us.
Sounds very interesting.
Yes.
One final question.
Sure.
You're talking about you're implementing artificial intelligence. Can you give me maybe an example of kind of how you're utilizing AI into your applications to help customers?
Yes, so Infor has a lot of different types of customers and patterns. One of the use cases, if you will, is digital assistants, where you can interact with an ERP without typing anything in. You can speak to the ERP. Wow. Look up an invoice, create a purchase order.
Sounds like Siri.
That's right. It's exactly that. And the beauty of it is you speak to an agent, the agent converts your speech into an intent.
Oh, wow.
And then all this data, all these systems, all the ERPs are traversed and the information comes back, or the transactions are created. So that's very promising, especially in businesses, in industries like utilities, where you have folks on the floor or repairing equipment, and their hands aren't as free as they can be. So they have an assistant helping them with, for example, asset management, on if they need to repair something or they need to reorder a part, they can do that using a digital assistant. So we see a lot of promise there, but
Exciting.
there's a lot more potential on leveraging machine learning and AI for a lot of different things that we're experimenting with right now.
Okay, great. In regards to software maintenance and upgrades, by being so focused on cloud SaaS for your applications, has that changed the way you do development or how you deploy upgrades to customers? Anything along those lines you want to share?
Absolutely. So there's this concept of multi-tenant cloud, meaning all your customers are on the same version of the software, on a single version, and you don't have all these separate on-prem environments. That creates for a very complex engineering problem, where you're creating this larger mesh of a ERP system, and it has to be flexible enough to provide services to your different customers without being hard-coded. So in the old days, we used to call that data-driven systems. So a lot of the work we're doing is to think and program and engineer in a multi-tenant cloud environment. And that's the hard thing about the cloud. Putting a system on Amazon, easy. Copying it 50 times to giving it to 50 customers, easy. But having those 50 customers on the same environment with a single source code, where as you update, as you innovate and add more feature functionality, all your customers have the option of turning that on, turning that function on. That's the hard part.
Right.
So, and I feel Infor has done a lot of innovation in that space, whether it's our EAM product, our asset management product. M3's done a lot of good things there, which is our manufacturing product. Our billing system, Hansen, has done a lot of work there. So we feel that the whole multi-tenant environment has had a lot of innovative cloud frameworks that have been implemented.
Well, thank you for your time. It's very exciting to hear what you guys are doing at Infor.
Thank you, and nice to see you. Thank you.